Hello and welcome back to our Cultist Simulator stream with me, Barden. Okay, so this stream we're having today because Monday's stream was played with technical issues and I had to finish it because it just wasn't working out for us. But now, hopefully today, I think I've finally fixed that. Hopefully I don't echo here. I'm going to check my own one. Looks like everything's okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm getting green from a Streamlabs over. Yes, that's good. Right, so we're going to jump in. So what I did was I went back to the save that we had at the end of the last week's stream so that we can pick things up, because I did play about 40 minutes until I noticed that we were actually having technical difficulties on the last one, and the VoD was unusable because there was a lot of drop and skip frames, and it just wouldn't have worked out well. So we're going to run time on. Right, so our goal for today is to get as many of these guys in place as possible, so we need another 8 of them. We're going to start working on some of this lore as well. We're going to let these glimmerings go. Right, so got a choice between the well. We're going to start with the well first today. Got some vitality. Okay, might come in handy if we get some kind of affliction later. The well in the wood is sacred to the Grail, the art that hungers, and to the velvet, the art that guards secrets. Tonight, as I approach, it heaved with the velvet's moss. Struggling waves of deep and vibrant green, pulsing again and again from its throat. It surged around my calves, rose to my thighs. This morning, I still feel the velvet's breath, strong within me. Okay, so we got that. We're now going to go straight back in there. So pop you in, and then... Oh, no, we shouldn't have done that. No, don't do that. That would be very bad. That would actually end the game for us, so we don't want to do that. No, we just want to pop that one in. And pop you in there. There we go. Right. Now let's find out what we... Okay, it's got some contentment there. So we'll pop you in there and get you going again. We put the mystique up there. We put the didn't mean to drag the table. Sorry about that. For anyone who got a bit motion sickness there, I gave myself some as well. Right, so we have 2 vitality. We may get an affliction soon. And things on. We're not going to do anything with increasing our health at the minute. We don't really need to. Okay, so let's close that down. There we go. And then let's get those, get straight back into working again. Again, building up that cash a little bit. What we've got here. Moons are calm, the sun is steady, the glory recedes. I'm sane, if that means anything. It does sometimes. Although in this game, I'm not sure if sometimes is enough. Visions pass me with purveying grace. A window over wood, a garden of ice, a shivering sun, a woman of glass. I will return home with reluctance. Okay, put that in there and keep going. So we've got another glimmering there. Again, glimmerings aren't really all that important to us because we have these saved up, and that's what we're going to use to get that final passion. Use the final passion moment. We've got that there as well, so that can move up to there. Okay, now we're going to get some stuff ready. So you're in Latin, which means that we've got to... Wait, you are in Latin, right? Yeah, you're in Latin. Okay. So yeah, we got to use our grammar book here to learn some Latin. I guess brush up some Latin from our school days is kind of the way the game is going with it. Okay, and checking something here, sorry. Right, we're back in the Mantis again. Let's check what we got here. So we're going to go for the well again. So this time we got a 14, which is pretty nice. It's going to give us a kind of second tier place that we can go on an expedition to. The Velvet is strong at the well in the wood, and the Velvet is the hour that keeps secrets. But now and then she lets a little secret fall, like a crumb at a feast. Last night I found a moss-clad rock, written all around with the secrets of another history. I might give thanks to the Velvet, but it would be wiser not to draw her attention. So grab that. You can then go sit up there. That's actually the first of the second level ones that we've gotten there. We've got some more contentment. You can, again, you can go sit up there. I don't know why I'm ending up dragging the table today. It generally happen that often. But, however, we'll keep on going anyway. Right, so we'll get you in there, start her off, hop in our passion, so we can get back to the wood, turn that on. That Mystique can pop over here for now. So we're going to have brushed up on Latin pretty soon. We're going to be able to translate this, then we can study it. We're then going to start working our way through these other books here as well. We will do some on these as well, but they, like, these two here are like secret histories, like this one here. That one is Knock, right? Yeah, that's Knock lore as well there up here. Okay, so we're going to get back into work again. Get that started up. Oh, we may have found somebody else. Let's see if we did. We got Tristan, an acquaintance. Tristan just likes distraction. Tristan gets things done. Okay, so Tristan is apparently very business-like. Very straight-laced. So we'll have a look and see, in terms of the people that we have at the moment, who would Tristan get on well with? We've got Valcine here, who has operated her establishment for almost 20 years. She's never employed an assistant. Her hands are terribly strong. Okay, so maybe they would get on with each other. Auclair has a scholarly aspect and a morbid streak. Yeah, maybe those two, actually. Auclair and Tristan. Both seem very studious and focused. But so we have some fascination in there, but it's not going to take that long to get rid of it. We've got Scholar Latin there. We're going to take it out and put it back in, because we immediately want to translate this, so we start that up there. Okay, and get that going. So lore-wise, we've made some progress last time. Still got a bit to go. We're going to get some moth lore out of the book that we're translating at the moment. We're going to grab you, because we still don't have enough of those. It's kind of early days on that. I walked in the wood last night, and the scissors worked in the distance, and the fur things crabbed my mouth and swore my ears. I felt the old urge to drop the wolf forth, and nose among the roots, but I remembered that I walk upright by day. I know fire and steel and words. The last I found where the velvet had concealed the secret, on tree bark beneath moss. I read it then with the tips of my fingers, and I think now that I could write it in full. Grab that, and go straight back in. Up in the passion there. Got some more content there. It's nice to pop it up there. You don't actually need it at the minute, but it's just kind of nice to have in your back pocket. So that's going to get cancelled out, which is good. And we can keep on going. Oh, and yeah, we should be... Let's talk about some heart lore for a while. Oh, and something I need to do as well is I never changed the title on my stream because I was testing earlier. And yeah, so I've got to change that. It's amazing what things, after hours of thinking about what I need to do to prep, it's amazing some things that you remember when it's too late. Okay, the Aspirant. There we go. Okay, now it doesn't say test anymore. Now when people pop in, hopefully they don't just wander off thinking I'm still just testing. Right, that seems to be okay, good. Now, let's run things on. So what are our goals for today? One goal, as I said, is to get as many of these guys as possible. We've 7 more to go. We want to work our way through these as well. And then possibly we want to get another passion, but I'm not sure about that. And so we got another glimmering there. The glimmerings are gonna sit there until probably we need to use them to combine lores together, which is not going to be for a while. But we are at some stage going to have to increase our skills to be able to get our lore up to a certain level, so that's something that we need to take into consideration as well. Okay, so we're going to read the Horus Volume One. This volume deals mostly with the Hours of the Wood, the Moth, the Black Flax, the Ring Yew, among others. So we are going to get Moth lore out of it. It's probably going to be this level lore rather than higher level. So what we'll probably do is do kind of a combined ladder. That's what I call it. I don't know what officially the name is, but basically we'll have 2 of those and combine them together. We'll then end up with 2 of these, we'll combine them together. We'll then end up with 2 of these, which we'll then try and combine together. But we may need a skill to do the last combination, so we'll check that when we get there. Now work is done, and then we're back straight in there again. Get things going. So let's have a quick look then down here. So we have Sanskrit and Greek available to us. I'm going to just pause for a second. So you're in Greek. You are in Greek as well. You're in Latin, so you should be on this side. And we put our Scholar Latin there. You look like you're in Latin as well. You are, so you can go there. How about you? What language are you? You're not in any particular language. You can go there. That's going to be some Forge as well. So yeah, that. So it looks like whatever one that is, we're going to get some Forge level 3 out of it. Because if it's a 1, we'll do a ladder again. We'll combine, end up with a 3. If it's a 2, we'll just combine and end up with a 3. If it's a 3, then we have a 3. Then, as I said earlier, these 2 are secret history like these. That one is not, which we don't have any of yet. We have, we're working on Moth at the moment. Okay, let's go for the temple this time. Okay, in the wood beyond the walls of the mansions, a jagged rock rears like the petrified remnants of a dancing giant. I trailed my hand along its flank, over the ice signs and lichen, and a crude graffiti of the lesser wood powers. I felt the thrumming of the wheel which had passed. It has passed, but something continues. Okay, just grab that. Trembling air can go sit up there for the moment. We don't need to dream anything else, so we're going to keep on going into the mantis. We don't need to progress in the mantis up to another level just yet, because we're kind of happy enough to get this level occult scraps, because it's going to give us lots of places that we can go early on. Once the guys have become believers and are kind of ready to go out on expeditions, we want lower level stuff that they're more likely to pass the tests for. Because what we don't want is to get a bunch of high level places there where we can go, send their people out and get a bunch of them injured, and then start banging heads against a brick wall, trying to get those done, not realizing that we're actually just going to end up killing all of our people, which for some cults is actually a good ending. I'm not sure about in this game, but in a lot of real life cults, everybody dying is a legitimate ending for them, at least. I wonder if it is in this game as well. Right, well, I'm going to have a nice sip of my tea, because otherwise it's going to sit here and get cold. So this level of the game, one of the good things is that it's very hard for the detective to get enough evidence to really hang us. And although when I started the game first, it didn't feel like it. It actually, when you're at this kind of level of your cult, it's actually pretty difficult to end your run. Although when I started at first, not knowing how the mechanics worked, it didn't feel that way. It actually felt difficult to get beyond a certain stage, because I didn't understand the mechanics in terms of how you combat dread building up and stuff like that, and how to generate the contentment that get rid of that, or things like I was hunting fascination, not realizing that getting too much of it could actually end the run. But as you kind of get a bit more of the basics down, this stage of your development in your cult, you can get a nice groundwork going with very little actual danger to you, which is nice. Now, something that we want to do now is we want to check here. So this is a glimmering there. So generally, for a lot of the books that we've read so far, the book actually, when it gave us either glimmering or some erudition, it actually gave us the one that was associated with the lore that we got. So I think this is the first time in this run where the erudition doesn't match up with the lore, the moth lore that we got, because that is a more of a passion one and needs glimmerings. So what we're going to do is we'll check the timer on that. It has 112, which means that we can combine these two together, and then in a little bit it's going to ask for this glimmering. We can then provide the glimmering there, and as I said a few minutes ago, what we're going to do is combine up until we get 2 of these, and then at that stage we're going to, I can't remember whether it's combining those two that needs the higher level skill, or it's the next one over, but we'll know when we get there. Right, so we're going to pop back into work again, keep them going. We're not going to provide the passion that would give us an ending of the game. We're going to grab you as well. You can help us to combat some fascination, but generally fascination, at this stage at least, kind of gets combated almost naturally by the game anyway, by what things happen. Okay, we got 40 fruit, and it's actually a nice level for us. In my sleep I came to the high jagged rock, which is still called the Temple of the Wheel, though the hour called Wheel is long extinct. Another hand had scratched a secret in the black lantern on its flags. I burned that secret into my memory to preserve for awaking. Before the velvet came out of the velvet wood depths and erased it, the velvet is jealous of her secrets. She certainly is. Right, let's get that. So now we've got 2 of those, but they're going to be for later in the run. It's going to be when a few of our guys have been on a number of expeditions and have been leveled up and are kind of ready to tackle something a little bit harder. So let's pop you in there. Fleeting memory, you can just go sit up there. We'll put you up there as well. We'll dream with, we'll dream with that. Pop the passion in, get that going. Okay, so who did we find this time? We found Laidlaw, okay. let's have a quick read on what it says about Laidlaw this time. Laidlaw is a tinker and mechanic with an uncanny knack. Okay, so very kind of practical, down-to-earth kind of guy then. So in terms of his interaction with the cult, I'd imagine that he would probably get along well with Valcine. Valcine has operated an establishment for almost 20 years. She's never employed an assistant. Her hands are terribly strong. Yeah, two people that like working with their hands. Probably those two probably go well together, I would imagine. Now we're going to speak again. So now we only need 6 more people to get the full array of recruitable people for our cult. We're going to pop this vitality down here. It's probably going to go unused, but at least it's there if we need to, if we do get some kind of affliction at some point. Yeah, we're still kind of thinking about what type of cult that we're going to do. It may be, I may go for an edge cult. Kind of thinking that last time that we streamed. But we'll see. Kind of what I don't want to do is to decide that I'm going to go for an edge cult and then realize that I'm ended up with edge being one of the lower level lores that I have. Like at the moment, Moth and Heart are kind of out in front. Now when we reach some of these, that will change a little bit, but yeah, I don't want it to be something where let's provide that there. I don't want it to be something where we're handicapping ourselves by picking a certain lore to base a cult on that hasn't really been good to us up to that point. Right, so he's on the hunt. All he's going to find is the mystique, which is just going to prolong how long he looks for some notoriety, but we don't have any notoriety for him to find, so he's just going to end up wasting his own time, really, just hunting around. And really, we don't need to worry too much about him until we start on expeditions and exploring places, because that's when we will start to regularly generate notoriety. I walked in the wood last night, and the scissors worked in the distance, and the fur things crammed my mouth and swore my ears, and I felt the old urge to drop to all fours and nose among the roots. But I remembered that I walk upright by day, and know fire and steel and words. At the last I found where the velvet had concealed a secret, on tree bark beneath moss. I read it then with the tips of my fingers. I think now that I could write it in full. Okay, so we'll grab that. It's the second time we got that description this time around, so the next time we get it, we'll just skip over it. But we will certainly be reading it again later on, because you know, I'm not trying to speed run the game or anything by any stretch of the imaginations. The reason I'm here is because I love the lore of things, and it doesn't, like, for me, I could read those things every time they come up. So that's kind of a big part of the joy for me of playing this game. So it's going to be interesting once we get everyone in there, and then we start to cult up who we're going to be able to promote early on, and then that's obviously going to dictate who of these people will kind of become the leaders in the cult. So you've got one more use in you. Put that up there. We don't need it. It's nice though, the way the lore kind of works in the game, that a lot of stuff is left kind of open-ended, where you can put your own spin or your own interpretation on things as well. So we can have our, you know, little interactions between people that we make up ourselves. And I like kind of changing it every time that I do focus on. Okay, so we got lucky with that one. We read, let's see, yeah, we read that one pretty recently, so we're not going to read it again, but the next time we get it, we will read it. Now let's check here. I've increased my mastery of Lore of the Wood, which we call by its aspect mod. Okay, so now we've got 2 of those. Pretty sure, yeah, it's still going to be a glimmering, right? Yeah. So we pop our passion. Actually, I'm gonna wait for a second because we might get a glimmering here. We did. Okay, so we're not gonna pop our passion in there because we don't need to. We can actually do that again though. Looks like we might, if we're lucky, we might get 2 more runs at that. But for now, we're gonna pop these 2 in here, and we have the glimmering available to be able to increase them up then. Right, then let's check here. Who do we get? We've got Eldridge. Eldridge, an elegant man of inelegant habits. Okay, so he's another one who's going to be probably Grail. But he's driven by, he's not just Grail, he's pretty much, sounds like he's driven by his habits, which would be similar to Saliba then here. Because Saliba is a man of prodigious appetites. He is long past the point where their satisfaction has given him any pleasure, but he has learnt so very much. Okay, so it sounds almost like if we were to combine or put, like have those 2 hanging out, that Saliba would be almost a mentor or like a mentor type figure to Eldridge in exploring passions. And maybe the fact that for Saliba here, he's still got his appetites that he still satisfies, but he's not, as I said, he's not getting pleasure from it. But maybe he's kind of vicariously getting pleasure by seeing Eldridge experience all this weird stuff that he's done for the first time himself. So yeah, that could be an interesting combination of those 2 together. I'm going to start that up again. We're going to pop on back to the wood as well. We'll provide some passion there. Everything's on. Okay, got our work done. So already, now that we got to the point where we're getting 3 funds every time we work, we're already getting up to, like, we're at 39, which is pretty healthy, but we want to get that up higher. Because we know when we start doing expeditions, it's going to cost us 2 funds to start, and then at points later on, we're probably going to get more requests for extra funds as well. So we need to be ready for that. I'm just going to check that we're not having any. No, we're not having any issues. Good. Looks like everything's running nice and smoothly now. So hopefully the other day was just an aberration, and maybe it was just that some settings got changed by, I know I had to update my graphics drivers the other day as well, because I was having issues on that side of things. So maybe it's just something to do with whatever the optimal settings were for my computer last week, just weren't the optimal settings for them this week. But fingers crossed, things seem to be going well. Now we're going to explore with some health for the minute. You'll probably find the streets one again. Okay, so we have a use now for this vitality, because this one will be gone in a second. Let's have a check what we have here. Mirrors are calm, the sun is steady, the glory recedes. I'm saying if that means anything. Grab you and pop you up there. Now that is going to be some kind of hired guy. Looks like just a hulking fellow. I get the job done. Okay, so we needed someone to be taken care of. He would do it for a fee, but we don't need anyone taking care of it at the minute. Okay, back in here, we're going to check there again. In the wood beyond the walls of the mantis, a jagged rock rears like the petrified remnants of a dancing giant. I tried my hands along its flank, over the ice signs and lichen, and the crude graffiti of the lesser wood powers, and I felt the thrumming of the wheel which had passed. It has passed, but something continues. Okay, grab you. You can sit there for now. And then I'm going to go in and dream again. Happy in some passion there. Get that going. Right, so after the next one, we're going to have to reserve the dreaming for this because we're going to want to fix that as soon as we can. Oh, you need that glimmering, right? I almost missed that. Let's slot the glimmering there. Get our funds, and then we just get straight back in. Start that up. It's kind of, it's nice to have that there, just with the regularity of the work and how much funds you can get for it. It's kind of one of the nicest ones because when you think of the priest, like it's, if you, like in my priest run, anytime that I tried to make a living just by preaching, I got myself into a lot of trouble because if you do that, you then run the risk of getting too much notoriety and then end your run pretty quickly. But this job is just kind of nice, where it's tying up one of your reason, and you've got to remember to keep refreshing it so that you don't get into trouble with your boss. But other than that, it's not too much effort for a decent income. Right, so we got Isabella now. Isabella has always been most comfortable by moonlight. She has excellent night vision. She's often overlooked in daylight. Okay, so she's kind of a one that keeps to the shadows, certainly. One that kind of keeps out of the limelight. So we'll have a look at our other cultists and see. I know there's one down here. Is it Clavette, maybe? Clavette is happy in a way that Brooks no counter-argument to happiness. Dorothy is an enthusiastic sort with eclectic reading habits. She's fascinated by my hints about the shapes beneath the word skin. Okay. This speaks softly and sometimes her gaze focuses on anything visible. It may be that you dream the same dreams. Okay. So there's a few people I think that Isabella would get along with. Probably Enid. And then through Enid, probably Cat. They'd make a kind of nice triumvirate together. Then probably the likes of Dorothy as well. And to some extent Clavette too. Where they're just kind of happy enough not to be the centre of attention. And just kind of to be there in the background and help others. Right, we're going to grab that. Oops. Scarred everything there, look at that. Let's put those back and see what we have here. I walked in the wood last night and the scissors worked me distance. The fur things crammed my mouth and swore my ears. I felt the old urge to drop the wolf fours and nose among the roots, but I remembered that I walk upright by day and now fire and steel in words. At last I found where the velvet had concealed a secret on tree bar beneath moss. I read it then with the tips of my fingers, and I think now that I could write it in full. Okay, so the next time that we get that one, we will skip it because we've read that a few times this run. So we'll slot you in there. One thing's on. Oh, we shouldn't have done that because we need to put that in. So I'm going to put that there so I remember. Luckily it has long enough that it's not going to become a decrepitude. Now we can, if it does become a decrepitude, we can do Forge's Redemption to turn it back into health, but that is a long drawn out process, especially when we're at this stage of the game where we don't really have all the tools that would be necessary to do that. So it's best that I remember on the next turn that I need to sort it out. Right, so we got you there. Now, we're going to have a look here. So, to upgrade, so you need glimmering, and lower fragments sometimes be upgraded with study and with matching fragments. Okay, so these are levels. I think, I'm pretty well, let's see, but I think to be combined, they're going to need more than, yeah, they're probably going to need more than that. They're probably going to need like the library or something. But what we'll do is we'll get ourselves a glimmering anyway. We'll have the glimmering ready. We'll then try and, oh, they should be moved down here as well. We'll then try to combine them together and see how that goes. We've got a lot of things going here. The detective is on the hunt, but again, there's nothing for him to find. That's just going to generate some restlessness, which will then become dread. This one here is maybe going to give us restlessness as well. I'm trying to remember what that does. I know sometimes it can give restlessness from that one. Let's see, what did we get? Yeah, we did. A half glimpse, wistfulness. A half glimpse with wistfulness has touched me. Okay, so you pop up there. So we're going to have two dread coming around pretty much at the same time when those two convert over. We're going to go for the well now. Read your rumor. This will give us something different to read. So many things rise from the well in the wood. Last night it was a swarm with wormy roots. The trees clustered and whispered. Perhaps they were welcoming the influx. I found a sleeping soul ensnared in the roots. I helped them struggle free. When they wake, they will recall my face, as I do theirs. So we can chase that down. I'm not sure at this point there is a benefit to us chasing it down, but we're probably going to do it anyway. Just to see. We're probably going to generate some notoriety out of this, which will mean that he's definitely going to find it at some point. We're then going to have some tentative evidence that we need to deal with, but it won't be that bad. We can just wait out the tentative evidence anyway. Let's run things on. You need to go in here now, and then we provide funds. So we're going to fix that, and then we don't need to worry about you for a while. So once you find out definitively whether we combine those two or not, then we're going to either going to combine them if we can, or we're just going to go back to studying the books that we already have. Right, so let's give it a go. It might be that what we need is the highest level skill in this one, or the highest level skill in this one. I'm safe for now. My adversary has not enough evidence to bring a case against me, and I found no new clues. Yeah, you might find some notoriety soon enough, but again, we should be pretty safe because at the worst, we just need to keep our head down for a while. Let that run on. Okay. Oh, we found another peculiar rumor. So we won't chase that one up because that would be tempting fate to generate two notoriety pretty close to each other. So you just sit up there until you degrade, and the mystique will go up there as well. Now, we'll chat again and we'll see who's going to come next. So we have 4 more people to find for these guys. I think there's one more of these guys that has to be found as well. So we have those 2 dreads sitting there. But we do know that if we need to, we can go to the club and generate some contentment pretty easily. The Forge of Days waits in my dreams. If I learn the Forge's lore and I dream of this temptation, I can advance my purpose. The need gnaws at me. Well, at the moment it doesn't really gnaw at us, because it's something that we're leaving for home. So there now is potential 3 dread, which obviously is potentially run ending, but we're not going to let it get that far. There's some notoriety and a hanger on. Okay, so we'll take that. Hanger on will go over here. Notoriety will go sit next to him because he's going to probably find it pretty quickly. We then explore some health. The reason why we're doing that is to try and get the streets thing again, because it's a nice way to get some glimmerings that you don't need to then spend a whole heap of time studying for. And you can be studying other stuff at the same time. So you can have glimmerings sitting there that you're not necessarily looking to use, just that they're there if you need to use them at some point. So it's kind of a nice thing to have. Now we're going to run things on. Oh, we do need to go back to the wood though, so let's get this started and get a passion in there. Okay, and we do get the streets, so we can start doing that and maybe get some glimmerings out of it. Run things on. Okay, so there's the glimmering that we need. So we pop that in there, and then we're going to find out pretty soon whether it needs something else or not. I've got a vague recollection that it's this level that will need either the library or whatever the other top level skill is. And if that's the case, then we'll just set those aside until we can actually provide that. Okay, so we've got some fascination there. Fascination is actually nice because if we wanted to now just hedge our bets and deal with one of these dread, we could do that by dreaming the 2 together. We might actually do that just to take the edge off the fact that there are 3 dread sitting there. But again, I don't really think that those 3 dread are going to be run ending, especially because when it comes looking for them, sometimes it'll pick one that is newer and then allow one that is older to actually degrade. So there's no guarantee it's going to pick them in order. Right, so we read that one recently, so we'll skip it this time, but the next time we see it, we'll do it. We are going to dream these 2 together. This door vision, the doors of vision swing wide. A little darkness will remain on my light. Even dread has its uses. Okay, so we get 2 going. Run that on. So now that dread is not a problem at all. Even if this goes again and we get another restlessness there, these 2, like they've only got what, 90 odd seconds left each. If one of them gets captured, the other one is probably going to be gone by the time it actually comes around again. And then once that happens anyway, you can go to the club and we can generate a contentment and cancel out pretty early anyway. So I don't think it's going to be any kind of an issue. The notoriety, how long do we have left on that now? Another 3.5 minutes, right? Yeah, 3.5 minutes on that. So here we need to provide, we do need to provide either a library or the rarefied mind skill. So the rarefied mind skill is from here. We're not going to be able to provide that at the moment, so we'll just let that run down for the minute. We're going to get some contentment there out of the rose, which is nice. Some days are better than others. Sometimes the sky is nothing like a filthy sheet. Sometimes the river runs clear. So we'll grab that. Got some nice contentment to go up there. Again, nice counter to the dread if we need it. But to discover who we found this time around. So who is it? It is Neville. Okay. Neville pauses before he speaks and flinches easily. He laughs whenever he thinks you've made a joke. Okay, so Neville is another one of the guys who kind of probably hangs on our every word and is not that kind of forward or aggressive with thinking. So he's probably going to be a good friend of, I think it's Leo, right? Leo's an air sort with an interest in the occult. Yeah, those two would definitely hang out together. And Tristan, maybe not Tristan. Tristan's a bit more of a doer. Okay, let's grab those. Let's slot that in there. We'll pop the glimmering over here for a minute. It's probably not going to be used. Yeah, so we need to get the rarefied mind skill to be able to increase our lore a bit further. So that might be something that it might be worth actually doing that now and getting that done and not having to worry about it later, because there will come more, we will be getting more and more instances where we need to get over that hump and get our lore up to a higher level. So it probably will make sense to do that. We pop you up there, we don't need you at the minute. I'm going to dream this dread and this contentment together. Again, we don't need to, it's just kind of nice to have it cleared and out of the way. Run things on. Okay, so put those two there. Yeah, we're going to have to get that skill to do it. So what we need to do is, first of all, pop our reason in there and start that. So we're going to get 2 erudition, combine them together for erudition and lesson learned. Then we're going to study these 3, which will give us 3 more lessons learned. And at that point then we will have enough to get up to the next level of skill, which will give us the rare, I believe that's the rarefied mind then. So let's put the contentment up there. It's not going to need to be combined with that because it's going to go pretty soon anyway. But yeah, so far things are doing pretty okay. We've got a passion going for us there. Only 3 more people to find with that as well. Another subtle fracture. Gonna keep going. Pop you up there. The sun still moves, the wind still walks. My journals are the labyrinth clue. Okay, got that. And get this started again. Get up there. Work's done, so start the cycle again. Right, so we got 1 erudition, we need to get another one now, so let's pop a reason in there, get this started. So in terms of the lore that we have, and the cults that we don't want to do on this run with the Aspirant, one would be Lantern, because we've done Lantern a couple times before. Another would be Forge, because we've done Forge before as well. The only tempting thing about Forge is that it would align well with this one and getting this ending would make it a lot easier to to do that. So Forge is maybe on the table in that respect. Let's see what else. I'm doing a Knock one with my Priest run on YouTube, so Knock is out. That's why we haven't studied yet this book here, which is Knock Lore, because we know that we're not going to go too deeply into that. Then the others, any of the others are kind of available. Winter and I've done some Grail before, and I don't think probably won't do Grail, and maybe not Heart. So it's probably between Edge, Moth, and Winter at the minute. But again, Forge could come up because of this, and these two could come up just because it turns out that that's kind of where we want to go with a certain ending. Right, so we've got Slee here. Craig Slee, the astronomer and avant-garde poet, has developed an interest in the esoteric as his health wanes. Okay. So sounds like he's a bit of a newcomer to the whole thing. Maybe then, given that it's talking about him being sick, he probably maybe found us through some like Cat. Maybe went to her for a reading, and then got introduced to cult that way. So he's probably a friend of Cat's, I would imagine. Let's just talk to you again. So now we only have 2 more people to find, and then we have all 21 that can be recruited. Got some fascination there. I'm going to leave it up there for the minute. It's not going to be an issue. I'll keep on going. So we're about to get our second edition. Let's check what we have here first. Let's go the Well. Okay, that's the Vitality. That'll give us a different one to read here. The Well in the Wood is sacred to the Grail, the hour that hungers, and to the Velvet, the hour that guards secrets. Tonight as I approached, it heaved with the velvet's moss. Struggling waves of deep and vibrant green, pulsing again and again from its throat. It surged around my calves, rose to my thighs. This morning I still feel the velvet's breath, strong within me. Okay, like that. So that's nice for if we get another affliction. We're now going to dive straight back in. Get that running. Here we got some restlessness, but again, not really an issue. Even those two could even be dreamed together to cancel each other out, which would be nice. Now we do have an affliction on the way, so that vitality came at a really good time for us. Don't despair prowls elsewhere. So we got that. It could be used to counter the fascination as well. We have our erudition there, so we're going to slot these two together. There we go, and study those. That will give us the erudition lesson learned. We can then study these 3, which will give us 4, and I believe that's going to be enough then to get our 5th reason, which, kind of starting out as the Aspirant, is the soft ceiling for that. You can get more by using, you can use rights to transfer or convert one type of, like you convert health to passion or to reason, or any of these 3 convert to the other type if you so desire. So in the priest run that I'm doing on YouTube, that's something that we're going to have to do eventually, because the priest needs, the priest has a special ending which involves getting different types of wounds, and you can't do it with the health that the priest kind of maxes out at the start. You've got to use rights to generate more health, because you're going to have to pick up all these different types of injuries to be able to get that certain ending. Right, let's get back into work. Like that, one is on. Okay, so we're then gonna have our highest level of reason. It then kind of begs the question: do we want to do the same with our passion and get that up as well? that might be an idea to do, and then maybe come back to the few books that we have left after that, rather than kind of chopping and changing between the two. And given that we do now have some lore here that needs one of those anyway, it's probably a good idea to get both and not kind of regret later that we only did one and not the other. But then for health, there's no pressing need to increase health up anymore for the moment. So that can be left as is. Okay, we're going to nab that. I'm not going to read the thing because we read it a few times. But again, the next time that it occurs, we will start that up and pop the passion in there. Okay, turn that on. Okay, so we have our affliction here. The illness has damaged my health. I need to rest before I am fully recovered. So that vitality is going to be useful for that. It does have 104 left, which is good because we're going to need it because that needs to run all the way. We'll slot that over here so it reminds me that it needs to go in there next. We've got an additional lesson learned, so we'll put that there. We'll then just quickly check. I'm pretty sure that it needs 4, but then it also needs, if I know the right lore, I can employ the invisible arts to reach an even higher summit. I must choose between illumination and concentration. Okay. So for that, that's going to need, it has to be one of these like strength 6, right? Because it wouldn't make sense otherwise, given that it is needed to get your lore higher than strength 6. So it's probably going to be strength 6. It might be illumination. Sounds like it is lantern, and concentration may be moth. I'm not sure, but I think we're gonna what I'm actually going to do is, because I'm a bit worried about it, is I'm going to check what we need. So I'm going to just quickly, give me a second here to go and have a look at it. Yeah, I don't want to be in a situation where I use all of those books and then waste them. So where are we here? Let's have a look here. So it's the rarefied mind skill that I need to worry about. Let's see, where are we? Okay. Okay, got the skill, and then I just need to check. Oh, it's any lantern forge or knock lore. Okay. Right, so we can use any one of those. That's good. So then it means that we can start studying these, and we're going to have what we need to provide for that. That's good. Right, and then we'll stop it there, pop you up there, stop that again. So we're going to have some more restless there that will obviously come dread pretty quickly. Slot these in there, back it up. Okay, so that's the restless there, which can go right up there. Okay, let's see, did we find another possible cult member? We did find Violet. Violet has always given unstintingly of her time, easing the pain of the dying. Oh, so that's a nice little connection, I think. So it would seem, in our little lore at least, it would seem that Slee is, his health is waning, and what's her name again? Violet here has actually been visiting him in hospital, as she did for a lot of patients. But then he probably mentioned that he had met Carol, and just through chatting about the occultist stuff, she got interested in things and ended up coming to check out our little group. And like what you see, then the song decided to stick around. So that was kind of lucky for us, I guess. Okay, we're going to paint that. We got some nice contentment. Okay, so we're going to go here and nab that, and then we'll see what we got here. Last night I came in the wood to the high jagged rock called the Temple of the Wheel. Its flank patched with black lichen and eye signs opened like a mouth beneath my hands, and I walked in the whispering space within. The gods who were stone, the first of the hours, are almost all gone now, but here their voices remain. Wheel, Flint, Tide, the others without names. Okay, got those. Now, you're going to go in next. I almost didn't do that. Then stop the vitality, start that off. And then contentment can go sit up here for now. You can go back in there. We'll start that again. Get that going, run it on. And then you can go sit up there too. Okay, good. Right, so we're going to get some more contentment out of that as well, which is great. Oh, now we're getting skipped frames again. That's not good. Because everything's been fine up to now. Okay, so I'm going to give it a minute and see. Yeah, I'm going to give it a minute and see if things get any worse. And if they do, then what I'll do is I'll stop the stream for a minute or two and then come back in with hopefully some settings that are going to work, because like the settings are working for the last hour. I don't know why suddenly it became where they don't work anymore. I'm going to slot you in there. Okay. So just checking for the next kind of update on it to see if we're going to have issues again. It seems to be, from the message I'm getting, that's stabilizing again. But we'll see. Right, so while that is doing that, I'm not going to run the game on for a minute. I'll just have a chat about myself and my channel. So over on YouTube, I've been making videos for 5 years. I do a lot of kind of story stuff like this. So there is another Cultist Simulator run that I have going on there at the moment as well, but that's a priest run. I also have previous playthroughs of the game as well on there. I then I've got a playthrough of the Intimate case, which I did recently too. So if you're into this kind of lore, you probably like that too. I have tons of content, and I mean tons of content from Sunless Sea that I played for 4 or 5 years or something ridiculous anyway, and only stopped recently. So there's tons of that if you want to go and check that, because the lore in that is just of such an amazing level as well, and that's one of the reasons why I found this game. So you got kind of all that kind of story type stuff. Then there is another one that I'm playing through there as well, The Shredded Isle, which is kind of a shorter, kind of card-based game as well, about a cult, but not as complex as this. But it's kind of fun to play as well, and there's some good writing in that as well. So I've got kind of that side of things, and then on the other side of things, then I play a lot of turn-based tactics. So I play a lot of More Time City of the Damned, Necromunda. I have BattleTech and Battle Brothers, previous series on my channel as well. But those are kind of the two types of games that really I play, are either ones that are story heavy or lore heavy, and ones that are turn based. And then when the two combine together, it's a marriage made in heaven, for me at least. Right, we're going to check now to see. Okay, so it looked like things cleared up for a little bit and then went bad again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the stream for a minute, and then I'm going to come back in again. So I'll see you guys in a minute with hopefully some better settings that are going to help us. Okay, so we are back. Just checking to see if the issues that were there before have been fixed or not. It doesn't seem like they have. Now it's saying only minor issues though, so maybe it has. Gonna give it a minute to see what the next log says. But yeah, hopefully things will be good again now. Looks like it's only minor issues at the minute. Okay, so we're gonna continue on. Fingers crossed, no more major issues. Okay, so study wise, we need to pop that in there, put that on there, start the timer up, and get ourselves going again. We now only need to find one more person here, so hopefully that won't be too difficult to do. Okay, and then what we've got there, we've got some nice health for ourselves, so that was fixed. I'm going to grab that as well and slot all of these back in. Okay, put you up there. Let me have a quick check on the stream. Okay, it's saying I'm still having some skip frames detected, but it's not as bad as it was earlier, so hopefully it settles down. At least it's not a game that needs, like, at least it's not like a first-person shooter or something where you need to see every single frame. So hopefully things are going to be okay with that. We are going to press on for now. Right, so we need to go back into the mattress again. slot our passion there. Okay. So we have a couple of dread up there. One is kind of counting down now, but again, it's not really an issue for us. We may start talking to these guys soon, just to so that we can get some what's it called, spiritua, or whatever the other currency in the game is. We do that, and then we pop you in there as well. So by the time we study that, this one will have what, 88 seconds left. So we're gonna have plenty of time to be able to max out the skill then. Pop a glimmering in there. And yeah. Right, so did we find the last recruitable person? We didn't. We found a hanger on. Okay. So pop you there, and we put you up there. I'm pretty sure it's 21 and not 20, but I could be wrong. Right, we're gonna chat about that again anyway and see. Work is done, so we grab that. We can run time on because we don't really need to take a minute for any particular reason. Okay, we're back into the Mantis. So we'll have a look here. Oh, we got a nice one. Grab that. We've seen that one recently yet. Okay, so we won't read that for the minute. We'll select you again, start that up, and then to provide a passion there too. He's on the hunt, but the notoriety that we had earlier is gone. So that's kind of a good thing for us. We have some fascination there, which if we needed to, we could dream with the dread, but we don't really need to at the minute. We'll do that as well. Then mirrors are calm, the sun is steady, the glory recedes. I am saying if that means anything. Okay, so you can pop up there as well. And then again, if we needed to get rid of the dread, we could use those two together as well. Okay, so we can run things on. Just waiting to see if the stream calms down again. It's a bit annoying for us to have, you know, an hour of decent play and no issues, and then for it to flare up again. At the moment, yeah, we do have issues again. Okay, so I'm probably going to have to stop and start the stream again, unless it sorts itself out. It would be nice, you know, for kind of amateurs like me who are new to streaming, if the software that you know, I'm using Streamlabs OBS, if Streamlabs OBS just told me, listen, this is what the issue is, this is how you fix it, or click on this button and we'll auto fix it for you. That would be nice to have. But we don't have that at the minute, so what we will do is okay, that's fine. Just checking to see how many. So 63% over the last 2 minutes, which is a bit much, I think. Okay, let's go. I'm going to go for another 15 minutes and I'm going to check it and see if it's still being a problem, and if it is, then I'm probably going to have to end the stream for tonight, and at least we'll then have gotten in like about an hour and a half of gameplay, which isn't too bad. Right, so let's press on. We now have this available. We're going to stop all of these, and then we're going to slot one of those two. Let's go for you, because again, connected to possible temptation there, maybe that's going to be the way to go. Okay, run that on. Okay, now what we found here is the glimmering. We'll get back out there. Glimmering can go here. Okay, check our work. So now our cache really has built up pretty well. We're at 57, which is nice. Although generally it's always at least one less, because you've got one is taken up by your expenses. There's not much you can do with that. Right, let's have a check here then. There. The well in the wood is never dry, but is never clear. One night it might heave with crawling roots. On another it will pulse with bright moss. On nights of the full moon its waters are choked with the fat dappled bodies of moths. Last night I saw it brimming with dark and viscous blood. Gelatinous shreds drifted on its surface. Clots of grail matter. Collect you. Now, dream-wise, I think what we're going to do is we're going to slot that. Now we're going to start looking for what it is that triggers going to the next level. So we have a number of lores here that could potentially help us to get to the next level up. So we'll start that off now. Okay, and then we'll check there. Got some more contentment. Oops, at the table. I'll pop you there and pop that over there for a minute. Start that and put it on. Right, so the higher I rise, the more I see. So we got skill, a rarefied mind, and we got our reason back, so we can grab that. Now, we can now grab those two and start them up. So we're going to be able to get to the 8 strength moth lore as well. It's going to be nice. Okay, so the stream is still experiencing issues. So what I'm going to do again is I'm going to end the stream for about a minute, then ask OBS to detect the best settings and come back in. So see you guys in. So we are back. Gonna give it a minute to see if it settles down or not. Let's see if there are any settings here that we can. I don't think there is. I'm sure it's pretty simple. Yeah, I don't think it's an issue with the game. Come on, stream. Let's go on. We want to go on for at least another little while. Okay, well, for the minute, it's not telling me that. Okay, so we should have skipped, actually, we should have skipped frames for the last 2 minutes. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stream for another 15 minutes. And then probably that will be where I will end this particular stream, because it's kind of half working rather than completely working. So let's see how things go with that. Right, did we find the last? We did. We found the last person. Victor, an acquaintance. Victor was a sly fellow, he knows an unusual opportunity when he sees it. Okay, so we're popping in there. So Victor, in terms of who he would hang around with, straight away my thoughts would turn to Rose. Because Rose is kind of a similar, come from the same kind of cloth. I think she's sly, yeah. So I think those two would either get on well with each other, at least at some points. I think, yeah, Rose and Victor at times would be friends, but at the same time, given that they're both kind of sly, they would always be looking out for an opportunity, I think, to put their own needs first, and maybe there will be times where they'll work against each other as well. Right. So we've got our rarefied mind skill. We're about to get our first 8th level lore as well. Let's start that there. He's just looking for a mystique. He can have all the mystique that he wants. Let's start that over there. And he's on. Okay. Got our work done. So we get to start again. Closing in on 60 funds, which is nice. These are the bounds about the house, with their myths and their traces. This is the rock called the Temple of the Wheel, high as a church spire, patched with black lichen and daubed with eye signs. I round it, and there ahead of me is the white door, aglow like the moon in winter. Okay, so we found a white door, which is the next level of the Mantis. Okay, so to enter the white door, let's see what we need for this. In my dreams, I know the path to the white door, through the bounds, but that path is thronged with the dead who pass that way. I will need health to resist the chill. Okay, so we can slot one of our health in there. So at this point, if we either had not much health, or we were using our health, maybe like we didn't have a job, we had to use our health for work, or we were using our health for something else, then, or we got a decrepitude and aren't able to convert it back, then this could be an issue for us, but at the moment we're fine. We don't really have to worry about, our health, one of our health being used in there, because we have enough to spare. Now, here, this is a puzzle with a missing piece. It certainly is. But we do actually have the missing piece now, so let's put in rarefied mind skill. That'll get us going there. Okay, and then you're going to... Pretty much now we're probably only going to find hangers on at this point. Okay, so got some contentment there. That can go there. We'll start that off again. Okay, what do we got here? Right, well, we don't need that, so it's going to be the orchard or the lodge. We'll start with the orchard. Oops, that's coming to the middle. Right, so a new one for us to read. Let's get it where we can read it. The visual arts, Christopher Lopley is said to have remarked, are as profitable as macram, as ethical as tobacco smuggling, and in general as beneficial as roulette. Still, there is always the Orchard of Lights, and indeed the orchard with its glowing fruit and its peaceful mists is a place to be yearned for. Last night I walked there in the peaceful hours of the deep night. Even after waking, I still carry with me a little of the glory of the old sun. So let's get those. It's going to go slot up there. For now, we'll keep you up there as well. Pop you there, and then slot you again. And provide a help. And yeah, we can keep that on rotation for the minute. Don't despair piles as well. Okay, it's good. Work is done. We got to get that going so that we don't end up having to go groveling to them anytime soon. Put that on. Got another glimmering there. Slot that over there. Start you up. Not worried about what he's going to find. He did get some more mystique, but that's okay. Probably a hanger on, right? Oh, we found the last. I think Pope is possibly the last, because I think it's 5 of these guys. We will keep searching just in case it's 6, but I think it's 5. Bellowing an unorthodox Catholic with a mystic streak and an untrimmed beard. Oh, he's not quite. Oh, wait. That is a turn off the book, because now that's 22. I didn't expect that. So there may be other people that we can find. So I was erroneously thinking that there were 22 or 21 when there's obviously more than 21. Okay, but how many more I don't know. Okay, so we're going to press on for another little while here. So now we have our first kind of 4th level or 8th strength lore as well in there. That's going to be good for us later on. We're now going to switch to, so for you we need 1 more, right? Fevered imagination. Yeah. Okay. So we slot you there. It should ask for 4 of those. It does. Okay. So we're just going to study these then and get the 4 that we need. And run it on. And once we've done that, then we can check what lore it's going to require as well. But whatever lore it is, we should have at least some of it. And you on fascination can go sit up there. Okay, what have we got here? We're gonna grab this one. Pretty nice. Many of the dead enter the mansions through the white door. They wander its corridors in silence until they are lost. Some embrace each other, some devour each other, some force their way into the dreams of the living. A few record their memories on the mansion stone where it is soft. They scratch it with their nails, you see. Last night I read one of those memories. Okay. So there we got a second one of those. Or is it 3rd? We got, oh, 5th. Okay. We got a lot more than I thought we had then. Okay. So you're done. You're going to be restless as well. So we've got 2 restless there. Again, it's not really an issue. We go back here and get a health slotted there. And let that run on. Okay, he can go up there for now. He's not a worry. Work is done. Hop in the reason again. Started. Got ourselves on a glimmering. Okay, so we got another lesson out there. Put you there. So we have 3 more of these to study. And by the time we do, it's still going to be around. We're going to be able to get to that highest level of the this skill here. And that's then going to give us 2 skills that are at the highest level. The one that we won't have is our health one, but as I said, there's no pressing need for us to have that up at a high level at the moment anyway. We don't want to take any restlessness at the minute. We're going to go for the orchard again. So we've got a pulsing airs there. The hours have been called unmerciful, but they permit sleepers sometimes to walk in the orchard of life, where each fruit glows like a sunset, where the roots of the trees are shaped for peaceful rest, where the mist soothes the heart. I was there last night, and the taste of the fruit lingers, sharp and sweet, as the passage of spring to summer. Okay, let's grab that, and then we'll get back in there again, and start our health. Okay, and then we're on. Okay, so now this one is starting to collect dread, so it could be an issue for us. So in order to nip that in the bud, what we do is we head on to the club, we pay our entrance fee, and let's see what we've got on tonight. In tonight's performance, Amethyst, a net-wielding hunter, pursues a veiled-winged woman through a murmuring maze of leaf-clad dancers. Each movement is underwater slow. Okay, it's going to generate some fascination. Now, that could be in itself an issue because we have 2 fascination there. So it's possible that by getting that other fascination, we're going to end up with a game-ending situation. But we are going to get some contentment as well, which should... oh, maybe it won't, because it might actually grab that first. So what we might do is, when this is done, we might dream something with this fascination to get rid of it, just to avoid, because we could end up in a situation here where we've actually got 2 dread and 2 fascination going at the same time, and then that could actually be probably the most danger we've been in so far this run. Okay, so we've got Peculiar Rumor there. We are not going to chase that up because we don't need to give him any notoriety for him to find at the minute. We let him find that mystique. Okay, and we're going to start talking about this new higher level lore that we have. Maybe some people are going to find that interesting and want to come and check out our lovely cult. It looks like, fingers crossed, that the stream issues have abated for the moment at least, so we're going to keep on streaming away. We've got probably about an hour and a half to go until the end, unless we do run into major issues at some point. So there is that fascination, and look at that, yeah. So that's gone to 2nd level. We now have all of this dread, all of this fascination. So it's gone to level 1. It's got those 2 there, so possibly it could end us. So we're going to have to be very careful with this. Run you on there. Got some vitality there, which would be nice if we get another Affliction. Right, so exploring wise, we are going to explore with health. Yeah, let's do that. So we're exploring with health because we may end up with a situation where we can get a fleeting memory, and then the fleeting memory would help us to stay on top of this one here. Let's grab that there. Right. And then we have 2 more of these to study. We'll keep on going with that. He didn't find anything. I'm safe for now. My adversary has not enough evidence to bring a case against me, and they found no new clues. Great, so we keep on going with that. So what should happen is that this one should take in the contentment. And actually, it's not going to be an issue because there aren't 3 of those. The fascination is really the issue that we've got to deal with at the minute. So we've either got to generate some dread, or we have to generate a fleeting memory. Either one to be able to just keep the lid on this for the minute. And that's the kind of thing that can happen in this game, is that all of a sudden you go from absolutely no threats at all to a major threat. Right, so we've got some erudition there. Let's see what it has to say. In last night's dream, I was in the lodge of the Sage Knight, behind a white door. It is difficult to remember exactly how I came there, and the mistress of the place, the woman with the dark glasses, was nodding as if I had asked her a difficult question. Of course I hadn't. I lost my speech when I passed the white door. How is it that I can speak? She said to me. I didn't come here through the white door. I'm not proud of what I did to come here. So let me tell you about something else, okay? So that's kind of an interesting one there. Now, we have our dream there. What we're going to do is we are going to dream with some health. Yeah, get that going. Because I think I have a vague memory that there's a possibility there to get some a fleeting memory out of that. I have a fleeting memory of a possibility to get a fleeting memory, I guess is what I'm saying. Now here's going to be interesting because it's about to capture one. If it takes that one, we're fine. If it takes that one, we're still in trouble. So it took the newer one, which is great because it now means that one's going to go away. So what we've got here, we've got a professional muscle. Okay, we don't need professional muscle, thank you. So we'll leave you to whatever you're doing yourself there, buddy. And we'll run things on. So still kind of our focus needs to be on dealing with what the situation is going on here, with the fascination especially. Like that. Yeah, because they're both on 2 though, so that one still has to be taken care of as well. We need to remember that. Better not. I must be careful of the company I keep. Okay. So we can get anything out of that. Grab that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the club. Oh, that's work. Slotting in the wrong place. That's not good. Let's move these back to here. Okay, so here, yeah, we're going to go to the club and get ourselves some contentment. And that will help us. Just keep a lid on that one there, because the despair, or the dread, sorry, is the more likely of the 2 to turn up, of these 2. Like, we could get another fascination as well, but so there's some contentment for it. I spent the evening swapping theories with a table full of charlatans, posers, and perhaps initiates. Some of these theories may be true. Okay, so we get some erudition at that as well, which will stop down there. Okay, so now that one is not as much of an issue for us. Got some vitality there, which you can slot there. So we did get a fleeting memory out of that. Sometimes I have dreamt of a tall woman in a sand-colored coat who stands at the foot of my bed, smiling as she watches me sleep. In that dream, she turns her head with the swiftness of a bird, and her fingers flex like talons. I do not think I dreamt of her last night. If I had, I could not have slept so soundly. Okay, so that will go up there, but it will certainly help against you. And then we're going to dream again with help to try and get the second one. Just keep that one tamped down so we don't have to worry about it. As soon as it's just the fact that the two of these are up at the same time, that's where the real danger is. Because generally, if the despair one is up on its own, we can take measures pretty quickly to get on top of it. If this one is there on its own, we generally don't have to take too many measures to take care of it, because the dread that isn't going into this would go in there and keep it down anyway. So it's just really in a scenario like this where both are up and one of either one can end our run. We're getting there. We're kind of getting on top of it, and it's not going to be, hopefully, fingers crossed, it's not going to be an issue. Okay, that is going to generate some more, another restlessness, which could be another dread to go in there, but we do have now a chance here to get another contentment, which will then help us to stay on top of that. So the contentment will come about before we get another dread, and then the dread then can actually go in there and take that out. So it looks like, unless something else happens, it looks like that little bit of danger that we had there has passed. Now we have all of these ready, so you're going to go in there. We're going to slot these as well. Okay, and we're going to pop the moth lower in there, start that. Okay, so then that means once that's done, we'll have 2 of our 3 skills maxed out. I'm going to keep on chatting away to see if we can attract anyone else to our cause. There's that restlessness, which, if that had come maybe like a minute ago, it would have been a time to maybe panic about it, and thinking that, oh, well, now we got that there and it's going to go in there and it's already at 2, and then we're wondering whether fascination is going to turn up and just completely wipe us out. But now it's actually turned up at a very opportune moment for us. So that's kind of some of the things in this game. Can be, it's about timing really when things turn up, whether it's going to be a good thing or a bad thing for you. I purchase pleasure. I reel home in the ungodly hours and collapse into bed. Okay, select that. So that now is sorted. Start that up as well. Right, so now we can explore. We're going to explore with help. Run that on. So as well, once we have the passion skill maxed out, we can go back to reading our books again and getting some more lore on the board as well. Sometimes I dreamt of it all. Okay, we read that pretty recently, so we won't read it again. But now it's going to capture that as well, so those 2 will be negated. So that actually will just sit there on its own, potentially. Okay, going to grab you. We're going to get the odd glimmering that we may find useful later on. Dreaming wise, I think we're going to head on back into the Mantis now. Crisis has been averted. Okay, bring me your answers and I shall defeat them with my questions. So we have skill, never know, which is great. So we can go there. So now either of those can be used when, or not, they can be used for getting higher levels of lore when we're doing our combinations and stuff. So we've got both of them available to us, which is great. Now, in terms of study, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to I think, study this one here. Let's get some more Forge lore going. Cultist's tone is urgent, as if he suspected he might have little time left. Okay, we'll run that on. Got a subtle fracture. You can just go sit up there for the minute. The wolf despair prowls elsewhere. No dread empowers this despair. It's over for now. Yeah, it's over for now, but for the time it was there, especially with the fascination as well, it really was a bit of a heart stopper. I'm actually going to put you there. So let's move everyone just kind of one over. So you go up there. Try to keep everyone in order of when they became acquaintances of ours. Put you there. Oops, these guys come over. Come on, there we go. Oh wait, he should have gone down there. Let's pop you down there. Let's move everyone else over. There we go. Okay, nice. And pop you in there. Good. Right, so let's continue on then. Get the timer going again. Got some more restless there, but it's kind of passed on that one. Anyway, it's going to both of them are going to be gone pretty soon. We'll definitely take them for now. We shall also read the lore. Many of the dead enter Mantis through the white door. They wander its corridors in silence until they are lost. Some embrace each other, some devour each other, some force their way into the dreams of the living. A few record their memories on the mats of stone where it is soft. They scratch it with their nails, you see. Last night I read one of those memories. Okay, select that. And run time on again. Get that going and pop you up there if we need you. He's found nothing. I'm safe for now. My adversary has not enough evidence to bring a case against me. I found no new clues. Good. Okay, so that's going to be another restlessness for us. That's going to be a vitality for us. We've got a peculiar rumor, which, given the fact that he's just been out hunting, so we're gonna look that up, even though we know it's going to generate notoriety. We'll stop that there and continue on with that. Even the Sunny can be divided, though it required a forge of days for its division. Okay, so Smith's Secret, we got that there. Now let's check. You require erudition. Okay, so back to the general one, which is when you get either an erudition or glimmering while studying, a lot of times related to the lore that you get with that as well, and in this case that's true as well. So we've only had one where it wasn't so far in this particular run. Now, where did our... Oh, there it is. I was wondering, where did our white door go? There you are. So let's slot you in there, scratch you off, provide the help that's needed to get us through there. Oh, we won't have time for you. Okay, so you're gone, that's fine. So we won't be generating any notoriety for the guy for us to worry about with that guy. That's good. Okay, now grab these, put it in there. So we're getting lots of contentment to store up as well. Let's pop that up there. Erudition can go sit over here. And then we have another fleeting memory there as well. We're going to get a dread and a vitality in a couple of seconds too. Have a job done. Start again. A half glimpse. Wistfulness has touched me. Okay, there. So now there's 3 dread there again. My own heart pumps more strongly today. So pop you there. Yeah, so that could be a repeat of what we had earlier. But if it's just dread on its own, it's not really that bad, because we can very quickly get 1 contentment to just keep on top of it. And then once we've done that, then we can start working it down. We don't need... The good thing is, even if it gets 3 dread, we don't need to get rid of all 3 dread straight away. We just need to get rid of 1 to buy ourselves some time. And after that, then we can do a club and dreaming with opium combination to get rid of 2 pretty quickly as well. So it's not really an issue for us at that stage. Okay, so restless we're obviously not going to take. We're going to come back over to the orchard, get a glimmering there. We're going to see what the lore has to say for us. The sun in splendor, the hour who once ruled the mantis, was known to walk in the orchard before his terrible division. Sometimes his remnants walking still, sometimes I see the chilly radiance of the menascape. Through the trees of the chillier radiance of the sun and rags. Were they to come upon me, it might be my end, but to see them in the distance is a gift of insight. Yeah. Definitely look at them admire them from a distance, is the message here. Okay, get you going. Right, what do you need? You need the erudition that we have, so we'll stop it there. So we're then going to end up with a 3rd level, like 6 strength forge lore as well, which again kind of brings us back to thinking about this, whether we want to do this or not. Okay, so we have some fascination there, which you could dream with one of those dread if we really want to. We're now going to get going again with you. Yeah, so it's going to kind of be... Oh, okay, we're going to get an affliction there, which previously hasn't been an issue at all. It's been pretty easy to deal with. And this time it shouldn't be that difficult because we even have a vitality sitting there. It's just the fact that we are now using 1 of our health to access the mantis, which could, in theory, if something else were to happen, you know, we could get ourselves in a little bit of trouble, but right now it doesn't seem like that's very likely. Okay, let's grab these, we can go in again, get some more contentment, we can go there. We found another peculiar rumor, so we're not going to chase it up because it's going to degrade before we can. So instead we're just going to sit those up there and let them run the timer down. Okay, so we're going to go for the orchard again. The hours have been called unmerciful, but they permit sleepers sometimes to walk in the orchard of lights, where each fruit glows like a sunset, where the roots of the trees are shaped for peaceful rest, where the mist soothes the heart. I was there last night, and the taste of fruit lingers, sharp and sweet as the passage of spring to summer. Okay, grab you. So you're going to go over there, because I believe you're going to become a vitality. We're then going to slot you there, start that up. Now, let's slot you there and combine you with that one. We're hoping that that one will run its timer down. But this way we can eliminate those two and nip any potential problem that they might cause in the bud pretty early. So we like that. What did it say there? The doors of vision swing wide. The darkness will mellow my light. Even dread has its uses. Indeed. Okay, now. So after we dreamt them, we then got to deal with the affliction that we're going to have in a second. So I'm going to put that beside the dream thing, so to remind myself that it needs to be done. Okay, we got you there. So now you guys again will need some erudition, right? Let's check there. Probably, yeah, erudition. Okay. So let's study that. Let's move these two up here. And there we got some more fascination. We can go there. Oops. Slot you there and start you off. Okay, good. He's on the hunt, but again, we didn't chase down the computer rumor, so he's not going to find anything. Affliction there. Now, did that go? Oh, went all the way over there. Okay. So let's pop you there, so we're ready to deal with you as and when. So he's only got a couple of mystique to really find. And again, it's not going to cause any kind of issue for us. Why do I keep moving that? Stop moving that. Okay, got a glimmering there. Pop that over there. I don't think we're actually going to use it. It would be nice if we could, but I don't think we will. Let's pop you there. Slot that, and then this vitality here. So good timing on us receiving that one as well. Now, so we are getting kind of to the point where we're going to be making the decision on which cult we're going to do. So once I read these books here, we're going to be at kind of our the ceiling of our lore for the moment, in terms of how high we can get it and how much of it we can get, because we've exhausted the two avenues that we can get up until we start doing expeditions. So it will mean that we're at a point where we have to do expeditions to be able to gain more lore. So that will mean that we will have to start a cult. So we'll have to see what it is that we do. I'm thinking more and more about this one here and maybe doing that. I'm not sure what it's entailed, but it obviously, by the colouring, it's associated with Forge, so we may actually do a Forge cult to be able to do it a bit easier. Okay, so we've got another peculiar. So we're very consistently now getting peculiar rumors, which kind of says to me that 22 people is probably the limit there. We will check a bit more just in case, but we don't need to talk about you. Yeah, let's do that. Now this time we are going to. It's probably a bad time to do this because he is on the hunt there, but we are going to chase down this peculiar rumor. Oh, hang on. This isn't who you hoped for after all. There's no one of particular importance, and eventually they'll pass from your memory. Perhaps there is no one else available that you'd care to meet. Oh, it's a case of mistaken identity. It's not a peculiar rumor. Okay, so that is telling us that we're done there then. So there's no other people that we can meet. So for now, Explorer is going to go dormant for a while until either we need to generate some contentment or we start going on expeditions. Let's grab that health there and then let's get back in. Oops, no, let's not do that. Let's do it properly. Start it and then slot. There we go. Right, run you on. See that? We might get some contentment or glimmer out of that. And start things up again. Yeah, so then we don't need to worry about him finding notoriety because we can't actually generate any at the moment anyway, so that's good. Okay, so gonna get some restless out of that. We did get a glimmering out of that one. Start up and pop you over there. Okay. But generally these kind of ones you want to be pretty prepared for when you start them, because the higher level you kind of put them up, the more you have to do to maintain them, and the more risk is associated with them as well. So you kind of have to be ready to act on it, get yourself in a nice position. At the moment, we're not ready for it, so we're just going to let it keep doing its thing. Oh. Okay. So we're going to grab you. But I paused that just in time. So you need the erudition that we have over here. So we're going to stop that there. Okay, and then we're going to come back and have a look at you. Last night in the great pavilion above the grey sprawl of the Bounds, a woman, who once called herself Theresa Galmier, sat on gilt-fringed cushions and offered me a horn cup of dream wine. This wine is imaginary, she explained, but the cup is not. To navigate the Mansis, one must understand the distinction. Perhaps one day you'll join me on the pilgrimage, or I'll join you. So here, let us share a secret. And her breath tickled my ear. Okay, so that's sort of fracture of that, which is not up there. We'll then get back into the Mansis again and get ourselves dreaming. run things on. Yeah, so far so good, really, with things. Making nice progress. We kind of have an idea now of the type of cult that we're probably going to start. Okay, and slot you. We found all of the people who can potentially be recruited to our cult as well. And once we get the cult going, we're going to recruit every one of them. And work on getting some promotions as well, because the initial places that you go to on your expedition, although not terribly hard in terms of an overall context of the game, can still be difficult for lower level members of your cult. So we've got some dread there, but again, not really an issue. Okay, we're going to grab you. Is this one that we've read recently? Yeah, it is. Okay, let's grab that. Yeah, this is a case of mistaken identity again. Right, so you can go up there. You don't need to worry about either, so we can close you down. Pop you up there as well. Dreamwise, we keep on going with the right door. Paying the most dividends at the minute. Then there, we now have the Lord of Burns. I've increased my mastery of the Lord of Burns, which we call by its aspect Forge. Okay, so we've now got that up to the 3rd level, but it's actually like strength 6 there. Okay, so yeah, I think we're probably going to do a Forge cult. We've done one before, but we did a different ending than the one that we're thinking of doing this time, so that should be good. So now we should then start studying these. So this one is going to give us our first piece of Nock lore. In this volume, Galmier records fewer dreams and explicates more of our own elaborate theories. We see this again and again. What is below can't escape what is above. Okay, and we're going to keep on going with you. Pop the glimmering over there. Oh, and that tea is very cold. That's one thing. I think in future, maybe next week, if I don't have technical issues, what I'm probably going to do is, after about an hour and a half, have a short break where I make myself a fresh cup of tea. I think that would be a good idea. But I won't do it tonight because we did have technical issues, so I don't want to have another interruption. Okay, so let's get our work going again. Oh, I shouldn't have done that because, yeah, I should have left that so that I could do the cult thing instead. Starting a cult is another one of those things where you don't do it as often as a lot of the other things that you do, so it's not always kind of instinctive as to how you start a cult. Because again, you do it once for your cult, and then your cult's, once you get kind of half decent at the game, which I say, like, I'm not great, but I'm at least half decent at the game. Once you get to that kind of level, your cult is going to stay around for a pretty long time, unless you manage to get the victory after in a pretty lucky way. I'll grab that, but then going to dream again. So therefore, you don't actually start your cult as often as you do a lot of the other main things in the game. But I'm pretty sure it's something to do with work. We pick the thing that we want and we put it in work, and then from there we will get our cult thing, and then we start talking to the people about the cult to recruit them. The finest artisans all dream of the white door in the end. I know artisan, only scholar. Excuse me. I think there's a secret that all these artisans know, but I think that secret is only half the story. Okay, so we got a Locksmith secret, and we got some erudition. So this is the first Locksmith secret, which we're going to... all of these guys are going to have to move down, actually, to make room for it. So we'll do that. Great little tip that I got is if you want to move stacks, you grab them by the number, not by the card. Because before I had 2 stacks of funds, and like I had about 100 odd funds, and there were like 30 on one and like 60 something on the other, and I was trying to move just grade 1 by moving them one at a time, which was very annoying. So hopefully if that saves anybody else having to do that, that's going to be a good thing. Right, now we're going to slot you next. Oh, hang on, why can't we put that there? Oh, let's explore, that's why. Yeah, we don't explore with the book, we want to study the book. Well, let's slot you there then, and get you on top of it. There, okay. So I think that will give us some more of that lore there. Mirrors are calm, the sun is steady, the glory recedes. I'm saying if that means anything. So you can go there, you can go there. He didn't find anything, so we just leave him to it. That work is done now. Okay, so oh, it's not there that we started. I'm sure it was there that we started. Maybe we need something else that goes in there. Let me check. Okay, let's see. So what can go into work? Okay, and then what can go into talk? Okay, so let's start with you. Here is someone I might work with, a companion or a follower, but first I must give them something to follow, a society, a sodality, an order, a cult. Okay. So this is, I believe, how we're going to do it. We chat with her, then we provide the lore. Oh, apparently not. I've begun, it is, right, okay. I've begun my true work. The authorities will take an interest in it. I must be ready for them. Okay, so potentially he's going to find a notoriety. We'll put it right beside him to give him a better chance. Then here, choose the founding principles. So it's going to be a forge cult, which we went like we went through so many different ideas of what kind of cult that we were going to do. I didn't imagine that it was going to be Forge, but it just gelled very well with this. I think in the long run we're going to be happy that we did pick it. Right, let's see what we have down here then. We're going to go for the Orchard. It's been a while since we read an Orchard once, so we're going to read it in full. The hours have been called unmerciful, but they permit sleepers sometimes to walk in the Orchard of Lights, where each fruit glows like a sunset, where the roots of the trees are shaped for peaceful rest, where the mist soothes the heart. I was there last night, and the taste of the fruit lingers, sharp and sweet, as the passage of spring to summer. Okay, so we know that you are going to turn into, you're going to turn into a vitality. Let's slot you over there for when we need you. We'll put you down there. Okay, oh, it seems like we're beginning to have issues again, but not too many. Right, now, what to do next? So that is running there. So work-wise, we can do this and get back in here again. It's good. We copy you in there again. Just run that on. Okay, so we're now going to be able to start recruiting people. So we'll go through all of them and get them all recruited, and then we'll examine who it is that we can get up to higher levels with the lord that we have at the moment. The royalty of England, according to Willis Ford, became the sovereigns of the least flame, destroying or transforming their enemies, conquering Europe, establishing grand cathedrals to St. Spark. The alliance with the Forge begins to take its toll. The last few chapters are missing entirely. Okay, so that was a furtive truth. We'll then pop this one as well. It's going to give us something similar again. The prologue warns at length of the iniquities of one Julian Costley, a former colleague who Hersault now describes darkly as a worm of worms. It seems Costley advised Hersault early in the writing of the book, but Hersault later became suspicious. It's kind of, a lot of cult type people are like that, right? My health, okay. So let's sacrifice some health there. The hour we will serve requires pain. I must give of myself. Put that up there. Okay, waiting for our lovely cult to be established. A cult with one member is only an unusual habit. I must have a recruit. Well, there we go. There's Rose. Right, so we're going to get an injury out of that, but we will be able to sort the injury out, which is okay. Yeah, so when we get the injury is kind of similar to the affliction in that you have a certain amount of time to deal with it before it then becomes something permanent, or at least semi-permanent, because it's permanent in that you, without using it right, you can't use it as health, but it's semi-permanent in the fact that you can use Forge's Redemption right to return it to the way it was before. Okay, let's slot you in there. Let's actually move you over there. Okay, start that. But now it's going to be good. We're going to have our cult going. All of the people are going to be very happy to join us. And it won't be long before we're going to be out there and going on some expeditions. Hersault identifies blood, silver, design, and the worms as the central axis of each of the histories, and claims that the so-called second history is the true one. So we've got an occult scrap out of that. We're now going to start translating some of this stuff. Pop it in there. Our rise begins. I founded my cult. This is a step to greater power. Use your cult to recruit and promote followers. Talk with followers about your cult to send them out on cult business. Okay, so we collect those. Okay, so now we have our temporary headquarters for the moment. So we pop those there. At some point we will move to the bookstore as our headquarters. We're going to pop this over here. Actually, we're not. We're going to start recruiting people instead. So let's pop that there. And then we're going to go with you. And we're then going to slot the lower there. So you're going to be the next believer. When you're on. Rose is a sly miss, but loyal. So she is Edge. So Edge is pretty useful on the missions or on the expeditions, because you generally do have some kind of enemy that can be taken out physically with Edge. There are generally with the stuff that you encounter on the impediments that you encounter on your expeditions, there are two ways to deal with them. Okay, let's slot. Oh, I shouldn't have done that because we need to deal with you. Yeah. Okay, so we'll get that done. We'll put this here to remind ourselves that we need to dream with that. Okay. Hopefully that will work for us. Okay, we're having issues again with skip frames, which is a bit annoying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on for another 5 minutes or so. And if we still have issues, then I'm going to end the stream a little bit early. If it's okay, I'm going to just keep on going until the advertised end time. Okay, so we're recruiting again for a cult. Gonna have lots of members. Gonna be nice and popular. But yeah, I at least want to get this injury sorted so we don't have to worry about it. Oh, you need to be sorted as well. Okay, so let us get ourselves to the club. We pay our entrance fee. What have we got tonight then? The backdrop for tonight's performance are painted with nightmare images out of Piranesi, vast impossible subterranean prisons. The dancers are monster masks, sudden as fire, each movement snapping with wicked intent. Okay. And a lot of things happen there. Okay, so that book is now ready for us to study. The illustrations are certainly striking. They flush the skin and glow beneath the eyelids after the book is closed. Oh, interesting. So this is volume of the Awkward Transfiguration. Okay, run things on. Right, so we've recruited Leo as well. He's become a believer. Right, let's have a look. So Rose again was Edge. Then Saliba, no surprise that he's Grail. Leo is Heart. Okay. So let's get Cat in. So Cat, I believe, is Jenny Lantern. She was Lantern the last time. I remember her being in one of my cults at least. And she was actually one of the main figures because it was a lantern cult. Okay, so we've got a glimmering there, which is not what we were looking for. So we'll have to go back to the club soon-ish because we don't have the dreaming portal available to us at the minute at least. We just hit 2 dread as well. Okay, we're going to go here. Okay, that's nice. Like that. Last night I visited the lodge of the sage knight. My hostess manifested as an elegant woman with fashionably short hair and dark glasses. No, she admits, I don't need them any more than I need eyes. Allow me my sentimentalities, but you've come here for knowledge, I expect. Here's a story I heard in my Kerishim days. You are welcome to it. Only remember me if you come to make the pilgrimage. So what she's talking about there is when we go to Kerishim, there is something that we can bring, I believe, that will do something in relation to her. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but that one there now, the Kerishim is at that, I believe it's at the level that one is, which is the green level. It's either this level or that level. But it's kind of, yeah, we'll have to maybe give that a go at some point. We have some vitality here, which we're going to use there. So now the injury will be sorted for us. So it's kind of good because when you start out your cult and it tells you need to give yourself, you need to give your health, you're kind of thinking, oh, well, I can't really afford to lose a health, but it's only temporarily. But not everyone who's playing will know that, and they might think that they're actually going to permanently lose instead. Okay, so we got Cat again. So Cat is indeed Lantern. Okay, so we're going to go on to the next person, which is going to be Clavette. So we shall slot this in there as well and start that up. You are done. We have a glimmering and a red secret. Okay. We must devour to be devoured. We cannot be undevoured, as we cannot be unborn. Okay. So the glimmering will go over there. We are going to look at how we combine those two. Probably with a glimmering, right? Yeah. So let's do that right now. So a Grail Lower is going to be up a bit as well. It's going to be good for us. Fleeting Memory can go there. Now we have to sort out this because it could become an issue pretty soon because we're actually up to 2 dread in there. Kind of snuck up on us. Tonight the performers pass among the audience juggling knives or bottles of red glass, bending to bestow whispers or other gifts. Okay, again, not exactly what we were looking for, but we'll take it for the moment. Okay, now slot that again. We'll check on Clavette. So Clavette is heart. So we now have 2 heart people, right? Yeah. So I'm going to switch you 2 around. So now the guys are going to start reorganizing according to what their aspect is. But I'm going to try and keep them so that they are at least some way in order of when they join. It's going to be difficult to do that, but we're going to at least try to. Keep going with that. We did get the vitality there. At the moment it's not going to be something that we're going to use, but still we'll keep it around just in case. I'm actually going to get another vitality out of this as well. The sick room grows close and stale. Time to get up. Okay, so we got all of our health back. Oh, and we almost got her job degenerate a bit too much. Let's pop you there because you really should be closer to reason than to passion. Okay, that notoriety is almost gone, which would be very nice if he actually didn't find it at all. We're going to head on back into the mantis as well, so we get this health going back into the dream that it came from. Looks like the stream issues have passed again, for the moment at least. Okay, so we have Claire, who is a winter aspect. So I believe we don't have another winter, right? Yeah, okay. So next is going to be Clavette. Don't remember what Clavette was. Possibly Lantern, but that's more of a guess than any, based on any other kind of solid information. Yeah, stream issues seem to have passed again, which is good. What do you need? You need a glimmering, and we have two, so we're going to provide the older of the two for you to consume. There's more vitality coming, which is great. That goes. So now, oh, we did Dorothy, not Clavette. Dorothy is heart, so let's switch you two guys around. So now we've got 3 heart people, that's really good. Okay. We then go for Valciane next. She's possibly winter. Winter or moth, maybe. Something again is telling me that probably winter, but not based on solid facts. Okay, I'm going to check the orchard, do the glimmering, grab that, let's see. Okay, Sun and Splendor, the hour that once ruled the mantis, was known to walk in the orchard before his terrible division. Sometimes his remnants walk here still. Sometimes I see the chilly radiance of the Menescape through the trees, or the chillier radiance of the sun and rags. Were they to come upon me, it might be my end, but to see them in the distance is a gift of insight. Okay, so another glimmering. Just need to move the glimmering, thank you. There we go. And then we slot and go for health again. Okay, good. When you on, work is done, so we get that going again. Pop that in there. Okay. So we'll have recruited 1 row of people, which is pretty nice. Another vitality is going to go over there. So obviously not going to use all of those vitalities at the minute because we're not kind of working on getting our health skill up at all at the moment. We will check how Valciane. So Valciane is Forge. So she is the first person, one of the first people who will probably be promoted to a higher level. Can we actually do that right at the minute? We can. So we're going to do that. We're going to get her up, because that will then mean that her Forge, instead of being 2, will be 5, and that's going to be a big boost to us on those our early expeditions. Yeah, I feel like next week or next Monday, and maybe, like, I'm going to stream tomorrow as well, but it's a different game. But next week, when I stream again, I'm probably going to have a break, just to get a nice cup of tea. I do have some water here. I'm actually going to drink some more water because I'm feeling like, not necessarily that I don't have a headache, but I feel like there could be a headache in the working. So let's keep nice and hydrated. Okay, now here, so we got that up level, which is good. You're not so good, but we do have tons of vitality, so it's not really an issue. Study wise, we should be. Did we already do that one? No, we didn't. Okay, so let's translate you. Okay, now we have that. I think we've seen that recently, right? Yeah. Okay, so we'll read that again probably the next time that we see it. For now, we shall continue on with things as they are. Hang on, what happened there? Oh, I put it in the wrong one. That was stupid. And it's going to be fatigued for too long. Yeah, that was silly. Silly error there. Okay, so Valsy now is up to level 5. Valsing is not a machine. We're reasonably confident of that, because she has been obsessed now and then to commit quite human errors. Observed, sorry. Okay. Rose is a sly miss, but loyal. Yeah, their stuff changes slightly as they go up, right? Saliba understands blood. He does not yet understand birth. Cat Cara, a bright-eyed, watchful woman who recalls her dreams perfectly. Leo is an earnest sort, but he's prepared to do what he must. Clavette's determined happiness now borders on the fanatic. Dorothy is an enthusiastic sort, and I have turned her enthusiasm to our advantage. Eau Claire is quite meticulous and remorseless. Yes, she wouldn't be one that you'd want to find yourself on the wrong side of, I think. Right, so let's start with the next group now. Get them going. Okay, and we'll keep our work going as well. That's good. And bring it on. Okay, so we need to deal with you. You're going to sit there, so it reminds me of what needs to happen. So if we're lucky and we can pause at exactly the right time, we could stop that. But I don't think we're going to be lucky. But I don't think we should either, because we should deal with the affliction anyway. So let's just run things on and let it reach its own conclusion. Wait, did we do you yet? We did, yeah, okay. We'll read the line, we'll read the rest of that line when we get to the end of tonight's stream. So we've got the whole line done, we'll read the whole line together. If we don't get them all done, we'll read up to wherever we actually have them done. So this is ready to be red as well. So awkward transfigurations, flood or pseudo flood suggests alignments between the alchemical tradition of Rubedo and the older Grail traditions, though the Pine Knight's quest for the Cinnabar Cup, or through the Pine Knight. Okay, so there's some nice lore of that. So it's not going to do anything, but that's fine because we really want to get that anyway. Got more vitality coming. Got a health back there. Got some contentment coming there as well. It's all kicking off. We got some vitality in it as well, so we're not hurting for vitality, that's for sure. So we slot you and use one of our many vitality to sort you out. Okay, on things go. Work is done. Get things going. Some days are better than others. Sometimes the sky is nothing like a filthy sheet. Sometimes the river once clear. Okay. I'm safe for now. My adversary has not enough evidence to bring a case against me, and I've found no new clues. Excellent. Okay, we go recruit. Let's go Poppy next. Go with Despair, perhaps elsewhere. Oops. Oh, not review. Okay, what have we got in this one? My own heart pumps more strongly today. Okay, good. Copy over there. Seek the cup in the birthing bed, the Pine Knight is told. The midwife at the birthing bed, to his amazement, is the Mountain Mother. In a fit of awe, he both yells and flays himself. The vigilant storm bursts joyfully from the remains. Okay, so now those two could be combined. What do they require to be combined though? They are glimmerings. We had a bunch of glimmerings, but we don't have any more, so we'll leave that for the minute and we'll continue on doing these ones. Okay, so let's brush upon our Greek. Get started. Moving on. But here, if we're wanting to talk to you, sometimes I fund scholars of the visible arts. I'd like to offer you my support, substantial contribution, and all you need to do someday is to introduce me to someone else who will end matters properly. She smiles benignly. Oh, Poppy, that's why. I said before that I thought it was 21. It's because we put Poppy there and not up there. She should be up here with these guys. Okay, so when we get the chance, we're going to put Poppy back where she needs to be. But that's another one where you can work towards an ending through her as well. But I don't think that's the ending we're going to be working at ourselves. Okay, so let's collect our health. So our health is back to normal. We can now head on back to the Mantis. I almost did the same mistake again by slotting the health in the wrong one. Luckily caught myself just in time. Okay, so let's get those. Let's put Poppy where she needs to be, which is up here with these guys. And then let's move on to the next person. So the next person we need to recruit here. So that is Sylvia. Let's get started with Sylvia. Don't need to worry about that. Work we just need to get rolling again on. Let's see what our book has to say now that we've finished it. Or a determined, oh, this was the Greek, right? Determined, distinctive tongue, but I have the measure of it. Okay, good. We'll slot you here so that we can then do that. We'll translate that. So we've got one more book after this one. So kind of a good time to be getting everybody recruited to be able to go on expeditions then. Right, we're going to go for the lodge. Apparently okay, we read that one recently, so we won't read it again. We will get back in to the dream. Oh, yeah, almost made the mistake again. What am I like? I have to remember, you start and then you slot. Here we go. Okay, now. So she can move over because she's been recruited. And we go for the next person. So that might actually be a nice thing for us to do, to just keep a gap so that we remember who has and hasn't been recruited. I know you can just click on them and see, but it'd be a nice kind of visual reminder to me when I come back next time that there are people who still need to be recruited. Okay, so let's run things on. Yeah, so we've made decent enough progress today. It's a pity that we had some technical issues with the stream again. Not anywhere near as bad as they were on Monday, but still, yeah, it'd be nice to, I don't know why, like 2 weeks in a row, I had absolutely no issues, and then suddenly this week, there's just issues every time I stream. Yeah, that kind of thing kind of annoys me, because nothing had really changed between the weeks. So it'd be alright if I knew that I did something that needed to be undone or whatever, would kind of make sense. But when there's nothing like that to kind of put your finger on and say, oh well, that's obviously the issue, it can be a little frustrating. Right, so you're gonna have to go there. So that you remember that you need to be dealt with. Pop you over there. You got one dread for us to worry about, so what we'll do is we'll head on to the club and see what we get out of it. Oh, notoriety, beautiful. So it's going to be the one where they start attacking and stabbing the audience, right? The performance has hardly begun when a moan of terror rises from the audience. Yep, that's the one it's going to be. Okay, let's go to the orchard. We haven't gone there in a while. Pause things for a second. The hours have been called unmerciful, but they permit sleepers sometimes to walk in the orchard of lights, where each fruit glows like a sunset, where the roots of the trees are shaped for peaceful rest, where the mists soothe the heart. I was there last night, and the taste of the fruit lingers sharp and sweet, as a passage of spring to summer. Okay, so it's going to be another vitality that we're going to have there. We're now going to hit the start button. Slot you, run you on. You're good. Got our work done. Slot what is needed. Run it on. Oh, damn. I should have dealt with you, but at least we do have time. Even having it there as a reminder didn't help. Okay, let's move you over. Get on to the next person. And run it on. Okay, so we are going to check this first. The performance ends immediately. The lights come up. We are ushered from our seats and urged into the streets. It's never clear what has happened, but the club staff seem prepared, as if this has happened before. Lights bloom in nearby windows, and passers-by gawp at the crowd of guests dispersing into the night. And then someone sends a message about what happened to the detective, apparently. Right, well, we're going to try again once you're ready, but you're not ready at the minute. So I want to get this one and this one sorted before I end. My own heart pumps more strongly today. Okay, so another vitality to go there. Oh, you're another forge, okay, well, let's do it. Needs to be done and get another forge person up and running. It's going to be good. So we're going to have 2 people with 5 forge at least. The virgins, maidens of the mirror favour orchids. The behindlings favour the rhododendron. Cut flowers of either nature should not be placed before polished bronze. An appendix contains a rite which might be used to summon some of these entities, although the details of its use are not made clear. So we have some lantern lore, and we have the rite of the Watchman's Sorrow, which is a new rite for us this run. Let's start it up there with the other rite that we do have access to. Now, just one book left to be translated. Then we also have the film or the movie, and we've also got this here that we just need to study to have access to Sanskrit. So run everything on. Okay, you are done. We're going to grab that one. We are going to read it because we're getting close to the end of the stream, and at this stage anything that is worth reading should be read. Many of the dead enter the mansions through the white door. They wander its corridors in silence until they are lost. Some embrace each other, some devour each other, some force their way into the dreams of the living. A few record their memories on the mansion stone, where it is soft. They scratch it with their nails, you see. Last night I read one of those memories. Okay, so we collect that. So we got another one of those. Right, so we do have some vitality. So we slot that there. Use that to sort you out. So that's one issue taken care of. And we just have you to deal with. So we'll try again. The drinks, the songs, the lights, the arching walls, the smoke blue haze, the press and sway of clothed and unclothed flesh. Sounds like a regular night at the club rather than the ones we've been having recently. Okay, get that going again. Happy with that. I purchase pleasure. I reel home in the ungodly hours and collapse into bed. Okay, it's perfect. Notoriety now has another 3.5 minutes to go. And we actually have about 3.5 minutes of our stream time to go as well. So when the notoriety is gone, it's probably where we will end the stream. Get you going. So we're going to have two lines of our people done, which is going to be pretty good. Okay, run that on. Just keep it running now because we want to get rid of that as quickly as possible. Mirrors are calm, the sun is steady, the glory recedes. I'm insane if that means anything. There. The wolf despair prowls elsewhere. There. I prepared the text for study. Good. Let's slot you there. Looks like we're going to get another vitality. This is very obviously not an antique text. At the very least, it has been badly mutilated, but it contains substantial intriguing material, especially a persuasive comparison of the many-portaled house without walls to the human body. We Greece's a true and complete account of the Asclepian mysteries of the roots of the house. Okay, so we've got a lot of things going on here. We are just going to have to pause for a second just to keep on top of everything. The sick room grows close, stale. Time to get up. My own heart pumps more strongly today. Okay, got a vitality for us there. The ceremony requires a searing, only a little one, but they will carry the mark all their life. So he's now... oh, who was it then? It was you. Okay, Laidlaw is now up to the 5th aspect or 5th level. Let's pop you in there. Yeah. Oh, we've done you already. Okay, so it's you next. Let's start that. Okay. Eldridge now has, what, about 2 minutes to go. We're going to get back to dreaming again. Good. Okay, got another book done. The direction of death is down, the book explains. The peak-up door has been considered a rent or an abrasion, but in some respects is more like a mouth, if not a more treasured point of entry. Discussions of the doors include a rite which may conjure creatures through those doors, although key incarnations are missing. Okay, so we've got the rite of the map's edge, and we've got words that walk. Okay, slot you there, and we put you up there with the rest of the rights. Now we have 3 rights, which is kind of nice. It would be nice though in the game as well if the rights were kind of more exclusive, in that certain rights would do certain things on their own, rather than like the way it is now is a lot of the rights kind of fall into categories, and you can use any one of a certain right to accomplish a certain thing. Right, so study-wise then, we just need to read this, which is just going to let us get a scholar Sanskrit. We'll pop you there, we're not worried about you really. She's now ready as well. So we'll move on to the next person, which is you. Now we'll check the guys across the way and see what they have to say. So Rhaenyra, a believer, Rhaenyra continues to pursue her appetites discreetly, although her ambitions have grown. Okay, interesting. Porter plies his razor and his scissors to the great advantage of his friends. Ooh, okay. Well, we better say his friend, I guess. Sylvia has a detailed knowledge of root ridges of the river at low tide, of Irish whiskey, and of conjuring tricks. Enid speaks softly, and sometimes her gaze is the focus on anything visible. She sees things that others don't. Tricia dislikes distraction. Tristian likes results. Laidlaw has learnt that the clever uses of fire and copper, wax and acid. Eldridge has almost learnt not to pick his teeth with his knife in conversation. He has not yet learnt to leave his knife in his boot. Isabella sleeps in fits and starts. She rises at dusk to do the things and Isabella does. Okay. And we check here. So Neville can go there. We'll have to read Neville's one in a second as well. One thing's on. So he's on the lookout now. So he is going to find that notoriety and almost certainly produce some tentative evidence out of it. So that's going to be something for us to worry about next time. Okay, let's go here. We've got a glimmering. Grab that. Pause for a second. I recall my dream. This was the lodge of blue silk, flapping in the winds of the bounds at the mantis' edge. And here was its mistress, who welcomed me as she welcomes all travellers. Company is nice, she confides, but I still miss my Christopher. 10 years. 10 years are not enough. But we could not have been long together, not without touching each other. And you know what occurs when a man lies with a long woman. Or perhaps you don't. I hope you don't. I won't tell you, just in case. I will give you a tiny gift. She gives us the glimmering. Okay, so that glimmering should help us to combine these two, right? Yeah, okay. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to pop both of... oh, it's study, not dream, right? But once study becomes available, we're going to make use of it. And the glimmering can sit here for now. So many words, such little time. I will keep my reference works close at hand. Okay, now, and then it can go over there. So now we can slot these two, start them off. Once I get to put the glimmering in, then I think we will end the stream for today. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks to, I know a couple of people came along and were they were lurking in the stream earlier on before the technical difficulties. So thanks to those people. I always appreciate anyone who takes the time to watch any of my content. Oh, apparently you're done. Okay, so let's put you in there instead. Okay, we'll run things on. We'll check Neville. Neville pauses before he speaks and flinches easily. He's sensitive to deeper matters. Slee speaks earnestly of his theories to all who will listen. The stars are tiny wounds, and the sun as a hemorrhage of glory. His poetry is more eccentric than ever. Okay, interesting. Yeah, so he's definitely going to find that. Well, he's found it, but he's definitely going to convert it. Let's pop right there. May as well actually get everyone done today, because there's only one left after that one. Violet. Violet likes to paint. She has a gift, although she's always been very modest about it. She never puts human figures in her paintings. There are enough people in the world. Okay, we go for the lodge. Another glimmering, okay. So we read that one very recently, so we won't read it again. But we do have another glimmering, which is nice. We'll grab you and start and then slot you. There we go. Okay, now you need this glimmering here, so you can have it. There you go. I know that that's tentative evidence there. I'll check it on a second though to confirm. Start you, and then let's check you. I'm certain that my adversary has lodged a copy of the notes elsewhere, with their solicitor, with their supervisor, even with a contact in the press. This is troubling. It certainly is. Right, so that goes up there. So that's basically 10 minutes of us not generating any more notoriety. But it should be okay, because it's going to be the start of the next stream. And we'll just be kind of getting ourselves settled into things then anyway. Let's grab that. And then the last person there. Slot that as well. And get going. Right, so we then have Victor. Victor is a sly fellow, but loyal. Oh, so now those two really do seem very close to each other. Because they've got almost identical text. Okay, that is some contentment. Some days are better than others. Sometimes the sky is nothing like a filthy sheet. Sometimes the river runs clear. Okay, pop it up there. The ceremony requires a searing, only a little one, but they will carry the mark all their life. Okay, and then you are Lantern. Right, so before I go, let me do some rearranging. Okay, so Rose is Edge. Okay, Lantern. All the heart people are there. Okay, so Rose, you come here for a second. We'll put her there. Let's pop you there as well. And we pop you there. Okay, now, we're looking for other Forge people. I think there's only one other. Oh no, there isn't. Tristan's here as well. It's Tristan. Let's bring you down here for a second. So while we're sorting things through, let's get Tristan up to the next level as well. Let's get another disciple. That's going to be Tristan's spot there. Then Laidlaw can go there. Eldridge is Edge. Okay. Grab that. The invisible arts, Christopher Lopley is said to have remarked, are as profitable as macram, as ethical as tobacco smuggling, and in general as beneficial as roulette. Still, there is always the Orchard of Lights, and indeed the orchard with its glowing fruit and its peaceful mists is a place to be yearned for. Last night I walked there in the peaceful hours of the deep night. Even after waking, I still carry with me a little of the glory of the old sun. Okay, so we grab that. You can go up there. We're then going to slot another one of those. Get work going again as well. So we're now at the point where money will not be an issue for us for the remainder of the run. And we're going to be able to go on the expeditions that we want to. Right, so let's come back to though who we were working our way through. So we're going to go Forge and Hearth. Then we're going to go Edge people. So let's put her here for a minute. So Rose. Then Eldridge. Then these guys can have to shuffle over. Okay, here's another edge. Let's put you there. Right, so got all the heart people. So after that then, Saliva. So it's going to be the Grail people. Okay. So let's again make room. She should go there because Saliva was first of that group. And is it Sylvia? No, it's not Sylvia. There's someone, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought there was someone else who was Grail as well. No, there isn't. Okay. So there's our Grail people. Next then is going to be Lantern because Cat was next. So then we have to find our Lantern people. Okay, so we've got Slee. So it's just Slee. Okay. Let's move you guys just temporarily over a bit. Let's put Slee there. So after that then was All Clear. All Clear is Winter. So anyone who's Winter is going to be up next. Violet I think is Winter, yeah. And maybe Enid. No, Enid's not. Okay. So Neville is going to be there. Just move you there for a minute. There. Porter can go there, and you're there. Okay, so Winter, then she's Mott, so we're looking for Porter is another Mott, so Porter can go there. Isabella can go there. Oh, you're Lantern, so we're gonna start you in there, right? Yeah. So move these guys over, put you there, put you down there. Then we have Moth, Knock, and Knock. Okay, and then we might have to do one more. Oh, we won't because he goes there. We've already set his space. Okay, good planning by us then in that one little instance. Okay, and that is done as well, so that's good. You can now move over to there. What do you need? You are erudition. Okay, so it makes sense then for us to study for that erudition right now. Okay, and then we got that. Tristan can go there. And then our cult can go sit over on the top. There we go. Okay. So that is it, I think, for this particular one. If you're interested in watching more Cultist Simulator stuff from me, I have plenty of it on my channel. You can check me over Barden Plays on YouTube as well. Next week we will be back at the regular time, the regular day, Monday from 6 to 9 British summertime. We will also, I'm actually going to be streaming tomorrow as well because there's a game called Legends of Ilaria, which is actually having its launch day tomorrow on Steam. And I did some of the writing for that game, some of the main story, some of the side quests, some of the lore that you find in the game as well, was written by me. So I'm going to be streaming that game from 4 p.m. tomorrow Irish time, so 4 p.m. British summertime as well. So hopefully some people can come and join me for that. Yeah, but other than that, thank you to anyone who did come to the stream today. I really appreciate it, and hopefully catch you guys in the future, and hopefully a lot less technical issues in the future. But that's it for me. Goodbye.